saying we don't know why. Does God himself have a reason what motivated creation? Like, that seems to be where's this gap. I think it sounds like there's no good reason that God needs this relationship, not out of a reason. Meaning, if you would ask himself, do you have a reason why you need this relationship? He says, I don't. It's not coming from a place of reason. It's coming from me, the essential me. Is that?
When I have an argument with somebody and the person tells me something and they say, like, he's building an entire edifice here but we're missing like the basic foundation of the edifice.
What's
the basic foundation of the edifice is why he's telling me God needs us more than we need him, but we don't know why. So if we don't know why, it's very hard to build on that. This line, okay, most Mefarshim say we need God. He's coming from the other side. God needs us. Okay, I'm willing to accept that, but then tell me why. But that he's not doing because he's saying we don't, and it doesn't matter.
No, but does God have a reason himself?
He's saying it doesn't matter. That's what he's saying.
It sounds like.
Are you saying it doesn't matter? It doesn't matter, right?
I'm saying if you ask why, you're saying, what is the end goal? For what? What will that lead to? The answer is, it's not a means to an end. It's the end.
I understand.
He wants us because he wants us.
Right, but we don't know why.
There is no why.
Okay, I mean,
because if
so that's the issue here. Because I very much, for me to building, I like foundation. I feel we're missing this foundation.
No, on the contrary, we have to get to the beginning, and there's nothing before it. Otherwise, we'll just and why that and why that. So what is a means to an end, and what is the end?
No, so you're saying that he needs us, and that's the end.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
I understand. In other words, he really needs us.
I understand what you're saying. The question is, it would be very helpful if we had like a proof other than you saying, oh, the proof is, how did we know that Adam wore a yarmulke because would Adam not have worn a yarmulke? Of course he would have worn a yarmulke. So therefore we know Adam wore a yarmulke. No. How do we know that God needs us? Because he created us. Therefore, ergo, he must need us. Okay, but that's not a real proof. That's a backhanded proof.
But there's a difference between a proof and a why. We don't have a why, but we have lots of proof.
Yeah, from
everything.
Kila'achayad proofs. We have, it's not like a direct proof. It's not like, how do I know God exists? Because he spoke to the people at Mount Sinai. That's a direct proof. You understand the difference between the proof that you're saying and the proof that I'm saying. It's a different thing. It's a different type of proof. Anyways, I hear where you're coming from. It just, for me, you're building this whole edifice, and I feel like it's hard for me to accept, because again, like I said from the beginning, most of the Mefarshim, are coming from a different angle here. You're taking a different angle, but the angle kind of is missing a certain block underneath it, which you're saying we don't need to know about. Am I summing up pretty accurately, right?
It's not that we don't need to know. We've gotten to the answer.
But we don't know why he did it.
That's why it's the answer and not another step. Everything else, like he wants to do kindness. Why does he want to do kindness? You haven't gotten to the end.
Okay.
Kindness is a function. Where did that come from?
The Torah.
But when you say he just needs you, you're getting to the original. What is the word for the primordial reason for creation?
It would be really helpful if we knew why he needed us. That's all.
But then it would just continue the process.
No, why? That would be the first step.
You
he
need
needs
me
us for this
for
reason.
something.
Maybe not for himself. I don't know. Maybe there's a whole other reason that we don't know about why God needs us. You're assuming that would be the reason because for himself. Maybe for some other world and thing that we don't know about. I don't know. I'm saying you're going out on a limb over here. I don't know. I'm saying I'm going with you over here. According to your school of thought, right?
So again, if you ask what for, you're saying this is not the end yet. Something else will come from it. And then when we ever find out what that is, we'll say, and what? So that's what it means, unconditional. Unconditional means not for something,
right?
Just for this.
Okay.
And the same is true with mitzvahs. Why does the Eibishter want me to separate meat and milk? So you're saying separating meat and milk doesn't justify itself. Give me a justification.
I was just on a plane now, from
Israel to
America, on El Al, and the girl's coming from Birthright, and we had 4 hours of conversation. I'm gonna get back to Israel. I'm putting them in touch with the Kirov organization that's next to their place in Chelsea, and that was the question she asked. Why does God want? One of the questions, and I'm like, okay, there's no real answer to that. You know,
Why?
meaning exactly. So go.
Why is there no answer?
Go.
Because he really wants you to separate meat and milk.
That's the answer.
For
Says
what?
no- we don't know.
For what means that's not important
Right,
enough.
exactly.
It is important enough.
But we don't know why, though.
There's
why?
no
There's no
why.
why, exactly. There's
It's
no why.
important
Right.
without a why.
Why? Because he feels that way.
That's right.
Exactly.
It's that important.
That
to
for
him.
her wasn't a great answer, though. I didn't want to get into that because it's like when somebody's not religious and they don't,
Yeah.
to say to them, you know why? Because it's, I said to you, you need to learn this inside.
It's a big chiddush for people.
Right. So
You mean the things my wife wants and can't explain, I have to take seriously? Or can I dismiss it because...
this guy drove me from Baltimore, and he was telling me about how his wife has cravings, right? And, I'm like, I said, you have to take it very seriously, I told him. I said, Glucklin of Heimlich, right? She wrote that book in the 16th century. She was a businesswoman, right? She has a story in the book about how she was expecting a child, and she wanted a certain fruit, and she couldn't get it.
Yes.
And then after the baby was born, he had the spots
Wooden
on him.
nurse?
Right? And he had spots on him, and they got the fruit, and they rubbed it on him, and he got better. He said, really? Thank you for telling me this. I never want to go out at 1 a.m. to get her a hamburger, but I said, go get her the hamburger. If she needs the hamburger, you go get her the hamburger. It's not for nothing. She needs it.
That is an incredible story. When I first read that, I was like,
My father
wow,
used to read
the
that to
wisdom
me
of
at
the
night.
sages.
He used to read me this book at night. One of the books he read me at night was this book about this. At one point, he got into it. He started reading it to me at night. Anyways. It's a great story. But it reflects a fact of nature. It's that a woman who's pregnant and craving something, don't tell her it's ridiculous. It's for a reason. She needs it. Baby needs it, whatever. You give it to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that he was very happy to hear that his wife's not just sending him at 1 a.m. for no reason. And I said to him, I said to him on the way home, stop at the supermarket, buy a whole bunch of meat, and bring her a present. Wrap it up and say, here, this is for you, Anyways.
It's amazing. You're even allowed to eat non-kosher food.
Right. Yeah.
And we knew this 2,000 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
We're way ahead of the game over here.
Way ahead of the game. It's amazing. So the bottom line is the real need has no follow-up. It's the
end of the game.
It's it. So if a wife asks, why did you marry me?
Just because I felt it was right.
Because without you,
I'm nothing.
there you go. That's the only acceptable answer. Anything else, you're going to get it. I married you for your wealth, for your looks, nothing works.
Because it's you.
It just has to be. Yeah.
Because it's you.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's how we should treat the
Because
Eibusher.
you're the other half of my neshama. That's the truth. That's really the truth.
Yes.
You married her because she's the other half of your neshama.
And that's our relationship with God.
We do the mitzvahs because he's the other half of our neshama in a certain right.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the chatz.
We're married, right?
Yeah.
Does
Chatzi
God
shekel.
Does God himself have a reason why he needs it? If he
No.
does not-
No, that's his whole point.
He has
He doesn't need it. That's the point that he's making, which is this is where we're
Is
going.
That, is
though.
that because he set it up that way, or that's the way
That's
it had
him.
to be? That's him. So
That's him.
it couldn't have been any other way.
You understand why I keep on?
Yeah, no, that was
I
very
keep
good.
on like
So
fighting
so when you're saying, so what does it mean serve Hashem? You're really serving because he really needs it.
because he needs it, because
not
God
for
needs it. That's what
and
he's saying, that we're serving God because God needs it, and that's why we're doing it. He needs us more than we need him.
And how much does he need it?
Very much.
To the point where there's no reason.
To the point where there's no reason. That's a very deep line.
It's the same thing as asking, so who created God?
Right.
do
There's
you-
no
what do you
answer to
answer?
that. No, there's no answer to that.
Why is no answer?
Because there is no answer. Certain things your brain can't wrap itself around. That's why. It's like your brain is equipped. Your brain is a certain brain, and it's equipped to deal with certain things. And certain things are beyond its scope. And it doesn't bother you, by the way, that certain things are beyond its scope. You don't get all caught up in the fact that you don't understand how your iPod works. It doesn't bother you, right? You're good with it. I remember this person just got a new car, and so she was all pumped about a new car. And she went to the gas station, and so she took her car used whatever kind of gas, and then she went and she took out a different kind of gas, and the thing wasn't going into the gas tank, but she forced it in because she's like, no, and she broke her car. But most people don't have a problem if the manufacturer says use 95, they use 95. They're okay with that. It doesn't bother us that our brains don't wrap it. So yeah, the same thing over here.
Yeah.
This is the way the manufacturer created it.
And that's why he wants us.
It's not important.
It's just good that he does, because otherwise we would be out of business.
Well, there would be no world otherwise.
Right.
That's
Right.
it.
But there's also a logical explanation. Who created God? If he was created, he's not God.
Right.
God means
By definition.
I've reached the origin.
Right.
Well, where did it come from? You didn't hear me. It's the origin.
Here I get you 100,000% here.
So the same thing is true with his Ratzon. His Ratzon is also eternal. There's nothing before it.
Good.
And it doesn't need to lead anywhere. It's the purpose.
Okay.
So if you ask God, why do you need meat and milk separated? It's like saying, why are you God? Why? And that's what the Zohar means. Eiraisa v'kutshabricha kul echad. Torah is the Eibishter, and the Eibishter is the Torah. It's not that he made it up one day and said, let's see, what can I demand from these people? And he came up with 613 things and then ran out of ideas.
Well, no, because each of the
couldn't
things
get
has sub committees and subtitles and subcategories.
So
it's
really
really a lot more than 613.
Right.
And then the Rabbanan came along and he gave them ideas, and
So you see, what the Rabbanan told us about him is as much him as
right.
as the Aseret HaDibros. That's why Torah is so awesome, because it's him. We don't know each other as well as we know God, because God expressed himself completely.
And proof to what you're saying is the fact that we're willing to die for God and not necessarily for other people. But we will, as religious Jews, I sometimes ask my classes, would you be willing to die al Kiddush Hashem? So a lot of people will say yes. Some people will say no. Some people will say I'm not sure. And I say to them, when push comes to shove, you would not think twice. You would do it, and you would jump in the fire, and you would do it because you believe in Hashem and you love Hashem. I say to them, in a second, if that's what was demanded, and it is much harder to live like a Jew than to die like a Jew anyways. The whole thing is over.
Well, it hurts for a minute.
That's it. And it's over. Living like a Jew is much harder, much more demanding, But yeah, that's what, and the reason, like you're saying, the reason why we're willing is because we really have that eternal relationship. We know God more than we know people, like you're saying, right?